Welcome back to the channel. If you love me, I love you too. Welcome if you're new. We are here for a collective energy message if you'd like it. I will be live at 3 p.m. CDT time zone at 3 o'clock Central time zone for duality energies. All right. If you are a Divine Rebel Diamond member, okay, you can catch me. If you are not a Divine Rebel member here with me on the channel, you can join via the link in the description, all right? But we are going to do a quick collective energy, just whatever comes out for whoever needs it. Take it if it resonates, however it resonates for you, and leave it if it doesn't. If it doesn't resonate, just be like, yeah, Racy, sorry, this ain't my message. That's fine. You can come back and check another message. It might be yours. Whenever, right? Divine timing. Always. So, let's see. We're going to start. We're going to start with the Healing Light Tarot. And then we'll just, I don't know, I'll let Spirit guide me from there. Let Spirit guide me from there. Oh, man. All right, Spirit. Oh, the Tower. We're going to put that back in, see if it comes back out. We'll see. That is Mars energy, Aries, Scorpio energy, right? Fucking Mars. Mars right now is technically sextiling Venus and Lilith, who are in trine, and Mars is also squaring Neptune. So there's a lot of Mars energy going on right now. I did a cosmic currency about it on Twitter and then shared it to my Facebook and my second YouTube channel. So if you don't have Facebook, you can get the cosmic currencies that I do on either Twitter or VioletAuroraMyths, which is my second YouTube channel. It's not as active as this one, but I do post the cosmic currencies consistently over there on the community tab. And I put videos up, astrology only. There's no cards over there, just astrology. And when I post and load there, you can always catch it if you wanted to subscribe to the other channel. Otherwise, you wouldn't know if I didn't tell you that all this shit was going on with Mars and Lilith. If you caught the Leo reading, the bonus Leo reading I did the other day, Lilith is tormenting the sign of Leo at the moment. All right, so we've got the Two of Cups out. We got the Tower, the Ace of Swords, the Chariot, and the Two of Coins. The Tower and the Ace of Swords are both in reverse. Give me some clarities, please. Clarify each of these for me, if you would be so kind, Spirit. We got the Knight of Swords. Page of Pentacles. Queen of Wands. Seven of Wands. And the King of Cups. World on the bottom. I like that. Moon on the top. All right, so we got some major arcana. We got some major arcana. Can I get all of? Yeah, squeezed them in. Okay. All right. Major zodiac elements at play, either in your chart or coming from the cosmos. Piscean energy, fixed energy. Okay, so fixed energy is Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. We've also got Mars, which is Aries, Scorpio, and the Chariot, which is Cancer. Those are the major arcana signs. So lots of water. Lots of water. We've got technically all 3 water sign major arcanas out here, at least present. Yeah, lots of fire and water. Even the other minor cards are majority fire water. So fire and water may be a significant like birth chart arrangement for you. Like some people are predominantly 1 or 2 elements, you know, like I myself am predominantly fire and water. I know people that I've dated were predominantly like air and earth, which there's a reason why I'm single and they're my exes. So very different, right? Very different. Water and fire on the surface don't seem like 2 elements that would typically go together. However, the yin and yang aspect of fire and water, water being feminine and fire being masculine, it's emotional and intuitive with the water and very spiritually authentic with fire. Okay, so there's not necessarily a great divide between them. The same thing goes for air and earth, right? Very logical, very practical, being an air and earth energy. So predominantly fire and water, okay? With the moon here, on the top of the deck, I'm being really drawn to things being exposed and giving clarity during the nighttime hours or during dream state, okay, where we're sleeping and we're in dream state. Feeling like certain messages are coming through or certain people are showing up. Not because the dream itself is necessarily prophetic or accurate in some which way, shape, or form. It may be, but it's not necessarily. Like the big thing about dreams, after you're done dreaming, your immediate feeling upon waking up says a lot. Like you could have a dream with an ex, for example. I'm just going to use an example. You could have a dream with an ex in it. And any other time you were to wake up having a dream with that ex in it, maybe you would be triggered to feel some kind of emotion, whether it's nostalgia or sadness or anger or whatever, you know what I mean? But maybe this time you wake up from the dream and you just don't feel anything. You're like, what the fuck? Like, you just, like, for real. And it's allowing you clarity in that you're no longer being triggered by said person. It's an indicator that you're healing. So the dreams, even if the dreams make no sense whatsoever, how you wake up upon, you know, what you're feeling upon waking up has a lot to say about where you are. Okay. Also, if you're receiving from the 5 senses in your dream, right? Whether you're hearing, seeing, tasting, smelling, you know, whatever in the dream, touching and feeling the texture of things, chances are it's not actually a dream. It's like timeline jumping. You're actually witnessing your energy, a fragment or fractal of yourself in the divine space of things, witnessing you in another timeline. In which case, if you are present, you're actually the conscious for that version of yourself, that timeline. So like if you were to be walking down the street and you could smell the summer air and feel the wind going by you or feeling the sun on your skin, in a dream, you, like how we all have our conscious, right? We all say, oh, well, we all have a conscious. We know what's right and wrong. We have that voice inside our head that says, no, don't do that. Well, you would then be the conscious of said version of yourself in another timeline if you are in dream space witnessing that, right? So, if you didn't know, now you know. Advise yourself. Advise yourself. You see someone and your version is like, oh, hey, how you been? Be that conscious. Is like, there's something off about that person. You should probably not get close to that. Right? Remind yourself what you've learned in this life, right? To give to yourself in that one. So that you can, in fact, close cycles, right? This is the world, and if you see these two different bubbles, it's almost like two different worlds connecting and you're in the middle. Ending cycles, really, the Death card is under that, more scorpionic energy. Ending conflicts, Five of Swords is under that, and third party karmic scenarios, right, that have failed, so that, you know, whatever love you've given can be in a sense judged by the divine, and you can be rewarded, right? This King of Wands energy, get new insights, new lessons after dealing with what is essentially painful abandonment, feeling like the divine or spirit or whatever you call God doesn't love you or hasn't seen you or heard you, right? When you're able to recognize the fact that that little voice inside your head that says, you know, this is probably not a good idea. Like that gut sensing that you have, like, that's you, your guardian angel, that voice in your head, God, spirit, whatever you want to call it, that's just you. That's just you having learned something and being present for yourself, right? Really keep in mind that when you start healing yourself and in one timeline, it really does set off a ripple to heal for you across multiple other timelines. Okay, your healing starts to ripple. And that's a big deal as far as closing repetitive patterns of pain that you've experienced in this lifetime or another, right? Past, present, future, or parallel. Getting down into the cards, we have the Two of Cups with the Knight of Swords. We have the Tower reversed, clarified by the Page of Pentacles. The Ace of Swords reversed, clarified by the Queen of Wands. The Chariot clarified by the Seven of Wands. And the Two of Coins clarified by the King of Cups. Now it's interesting because when the Queen of Wands flew out to clarify the Ace of Swords reversed, I immediately heard, and it was crazy. It's like, I don't give a fuck what your truth is. It's almost as if a soulmate is communicating and you're dodging a bullet, you're seizing opportunity elsewhere. Like just what I immediately get off the spread. Dodging a bullet and creating opportunity elsewhere, and you don't really give a shit what their truth is. You're moving forward in self-defense, right? You're bringing your healing together, right? That image of the two worlds combining, right? With you in the middle. I think you're leveling up emotionally with the King of Cups. And I'm feeling as if, you know, maybe it would have swayed you before, like if someone communicated with you and was like, hey, you know, I fucked up or I made a mistake or whatever. They're trying to rebuild, right? Because the Tower is all about things coming down. They're trying to create this opportunity to rebuild. And you're like, I don't give a fuck what your truth is. Like, I'm glad you recognize that you made a mistake, but that doesn't mean you get second chances or third chances or 10th chances or whatever. Like, you don't actually care what they want. Like, if they want you back, okay, that's all well and good, but I don't actually care about what you want. Like, Catch me in another life if you can. If you can. Because, you know, you're rippling, right? This dream space, time leap, lifetime jump kind of thing. You're healing and you're rippling, like you're leaving the past behind you, like this defensive forward movement. This is like Goddess Kali energy to me. I fucking love Goddess Kali. Goddess Kali is the destroyer of the destroyers. The quote-unquote demons run from her in fear because she is capable of their destruction, right? She is the destroyer of the destroyers. And it's almost as if you're looking at someone else. Like, I'm glad you've recognized something, but that doesn't necessarily mean you've changed. Like, just because you recognize that I was better for you than another person, or just because you learned that you deserve to be loved, does not mean that you yourself have changed. Maybe you're still an asshole. Maybe you're still a drunk. Maybe you're still really fucking stubborn and unwilling to grow. Maybe you're still very unwilling to understand who I really am. Like, maybe you just miss what I was doing for you. Maybe you don't actually want to heal and give me what I was missing from you. You know what I mean? So it's like, whatever this darkness energy is in said people, you know, you're unwilling to humor it. Unwilling to humor it. Like, wish people nothing but the best. Like, I wish you nothing but the best. Like, don't harbor animosity. You know, if something didn't work out, it didn't work out for whatever reason, romantic or otherwise. Because when the Two of Cups shows up, it doesn't have to be romantic. These are soulmates. Soulmates can be family. Soulmates can be friends. Soulmates can be co-workers. Soulmates can be someone that you see every time you go to the supermarket and it's like, hey, how are you today? Like, and you see them every time you go to the supermarket. Soulmate can be anybody that you have an affinity for or a connection with, right? That is more than just, I know you, or of you, or I remember your name, or I remember your face, but there's no bond there, right? Soulmates are someone who, when you connect with them, your energy can shift, right? Going to the example of someone in the supermarket, like, you might not always see them when you go, but when you do, you get really excited, like, hey, like, I'm so glad to see you here. Like, you know what I mean? And your energy shifts because you saw them. That's a soulmate. Soulmates, being around their energy changes your own energy, your frequency. Some people, it changes and it's really great. You love being around them because your energy changes for the better. Other people, when you're around them, it starts to change for the worse. Maybe you get stressed out. Maybe you start to doubt yourself. Maybe you're high anxiety. Maybe, you know, you start being afraid of what this person thinks or how they're whatever, you know what I mean? So, like, our energy shifts around soulmates. And so I'm feeling as if you're in this space where some kind of communication is taking place, whether it's outright in this life or in the dream state, right? Or in the dream state, certain conversations are going on and you're either opening up to it, being triggered by it, or you're shutting it down and being non-reactive. You know what I mean? Like the example I gave earlier, like maybe you had dreams of your ex and you used to wake up triggered or having some type of feelings of, you know, anger or regret or nostalgia or whatever. And now you wake up like, what the fuck? Like like they popped up in my dream and there's no actual feeling attached to it though. There's a curiosity of what the fuck was that supposed to mean? But there's no feelings being triggered up to the surface, right? And that's a sign that whatever is being communicated to you with them is shifting. You're no longer giving your power away to them, because when we are around soulmates and we get triggered in a negative way, we are giving them our power and saying, here, you have control over how I feel and it doesn't feel good. And I'm going to continue to give you my power and give you that control when it doesn't feel good. Instead of saying you have no power here. Right, you have no power here. Lilith is, I think, quincunxing Neptune. So, and moving rather quickly, she's going to pop into Virgo energy before she retrogrades back into Leo. So, I mean, everything going on for you, right? Especially because with Mars squaring Neptune right now with all the different aspects to Lilith and Venus, there could definitely be some things coming up in dreams, in dream state, helping you realize where you are with certain relationship dynamics, either present or past, right? Helping you gauge where you are. You know, how healed are you? Because if you're waking up and you're feeling triggered, or you're waking up and you start crying, or you wake up and you're fucking pissed off, you know what I mean? Like, you've got some healing to do. Said person should not have that much power over you. They would have you wake up and start your day either angry or sad or whatever. Like, that's your power. They could come through dreams all they want, right? They can come through dreams all they want. How you respond, how you react is indicative of where you are. So if you can wake up from a dream that maybe would have triggered you before and not anymore. Hey, good morning, Tanya. Love you. If you can wake up from a dream and not be triggered, well, congratulations. You've healed that. You've healed it. You know what I mean? So let's get... I'm going to put these to the side. Santa Muerte in the Occult Tarot. We're going to pull some insights. Why? Because I'm nosy. Whoever is coming at you in dream state, because that seems to be a big theme with this collective message. If someone is coming at you in dream state, especially like if you're catching this in divine time, I always tell people, like, just because the cosmos are what they are right now, right? And I talk about the current cosmos that this energy is coming through. Just like the hands on a clock tick and hit the same numbers every day, the hands on the clock hit the same numbers. It's no different with the planets hitting certain degrees on the astrological wheel of things. You know, if everything is going on right now with Jupiter, Chiron, and Vesta at 14 degrees Aries, when other planets click and hit that spot, they're going to be revisiting energy in alignment with that planet. You know what I mean? So all this stuff going on with Mars, Venus, Lilith, Neptune, all at 24 degrees. It's like they hit a certain degree on the clock. And so when other planets click into 24 degrees, it's going to bring up facets of this energy for you to look at. So, you know, if you're catching it in divine time, somewhere down the road, this would be significant, right? This would be significant for you. So let's see what is going on with the quote-unquote intruder, okay? Because this is obviously someone who you are dodging a bullet, right? With the Tower in the reverse, you standing up for yourself and moving forward, like you don't give a fuck what their truth is, because you know what your truth is, right? You know what your truth is. You're not necessarily in denial of your own truth. You just deny the fact that their truth matters to you and that you would not shift your life or reality or what you're doing or what your goals are to recalibrate based on them wanting to come back in. You know what I mean? So let's see if this can confirm for you who I'm talking about, right? The intruder, quote unquote intruder. Love and support sent to whoever they are in advance, because they need healing, right? God knows we all do. But they're vibing out of your experience for a reason. You're not letting them back in for a reason. So what is the insight, please, Spirit? Justice, first card out, maybe dealing with someone with strong or significant Libra placements. We also got the Ace of Swords again. We've got the Four of Pentacles, the Five of Swords, and the Empress. They could also have strong or significant Venusian placements. Or you could have a very significant Venus placement in regards to their chart, right? Your Venus could strongly aspect on something in their chart. I feel like this is someone whose truth is actually quite mentally damning. It's almost like negativity blinds them. Okay, because you could see the spade, the suit of swords in a regular deck of playing cards is the spades. And you could see the spade covering the eyes of the skull, and the sword seems to go through the skull, even though it's also a part of it, right? So I'm feeling like this person really, we're talking about past lives, parallel lives. It's almost like this person is trying to reap a debt from a past life, because this Justice card looks a lot like it could be a death card, doesn't it? It's just got the Reaper there with a big fucking scythe on it. So I'm feeling as if this past life person with the Four of Pentacles is holding on to something. And the Four of Pentacles, if we look at this card, there's a bank and a gift shop. There's a bank and a gift shop, right? Here's the bank and the gift shop. And this skeletal figure is holding a little teeny person right there. Either picking him up or dropping him down. And it looks like a bride. It looks like a bride. So this could be, for some of you, someone you were married to or felt like you were married to in soul. That there was a lot of fighting or arguments or conflict, potentially with other people. Like other people may have been pulled into the situation or pulled into the arguments because you guys could not you weren't understanding each other's perspective. It might have been an instance where, you know, you were very clear in one perspective and they were very clear from another perspective. And there was an unwillingness to see things from the other person's point of view from both parties. Because one person can see the other person's point of view and still be very solid and their understanding of what is right or true. And the other person may be unwilling to see, right? Unwilling to see your truth, though, right? The spade blocking the eyes. They may be unwilling. Yeah, good. I'm so glad, Tanya. Hey, Rita, how are you? Yeah, and I'm feeling like this is a heart space, right? The Empress energy is a feminine energy, male, female, or whatever you identify as, set aside. It's the feminine energy, right? What we receive. Hey, Skag. I know, I have so many decks. I really have to rotate them more often, but, you know, Spirit does what it does, so. The Two of Wands is on the bottom, and the Three of Cups on top. This energy, the energy of this person, the Two of Wands is stuck on pause, right? If you think about the Rider-Waite version, it's the two wands that look kind of like a pause symbol. In this one particularly, we've got the arms crossed with two guns, right? It's going like, you know, he's posing. Maybe they are quite literally a poser. Maybe they're stuck. and they're right words. Maybe they're really stuck in karmic dynamics. They have a really hard time getting outside of the outer experience as a reflection of themselves. You know, they don't understand how the different energies they interact with, how they actually affect them. Like, it's unfortunate ignorance, right? It's spiritual ignorance. This person may be extremely defensive and definitely put on a mask. They're wearing a mask. They're wearing a mask. If you look right here, they've got the mask across the face. Yeah, this person doesn't see. They even got something over their third eye. This person is super absorbed in the reality. Four of Wands, Strength card, Nine of Pentacles, Seven of Wands, the Magician. This person could have strong or significant Leo energy, Gemini energy, or have a significant Jupiter placement, or your placements in those areas could significantly affect their chart. But I feel like they have a really hard time. Like, they want joy and they want celebration and they want, you know, to be this strong character, right? They want to be the strong superhero, and they have all of these ideals of how powerful they are and they can conquer everything and they don't need anybody, right? This Nine of Pentacles, they don't need anybody. And they're super defensive. It's like when you challenge them, when you show up with your own light, with your own magic, right, and you challenge them or tell them what you see, right? This Magician has a crystal ball here. And it challenges their world. I think they immediately want to run and they feel wounded. They immediately want to run and they feel wounded. Yeah, Six of Swords, Lover's card, Seven of Pentacles. Because they might have serious what's the word I'm looking for? It's almost like they don't believe in themselves. They don't believe they're making the right choices. They don't believe that they are underneath, and so they come off like they can't be questioned because of course they're right. You know what I mean? Of course they're right. Give me some more clarities on these, please, Spirit. This person may be very money-minded, materially focused. They could be a people pleaser, right? Trying to please everybody else but themselves. With that Libran energy. Or at least that's the facade or the mask they put on, right? We have the Four of Wands clarifying the Justice card. We have the Four of Swords clarifying the Ace of Swords. Six of Cups clarifying the Four of Pentacles, and the Sun clarifying the Five of Swords. Give me one more. And the Six of Swords clarifying the Empress. New bottom of the deck is the Three of Swords with the Eight of Swords on top. This person does, in fact, have a difficult time inside their own head. right? With the Eight of Swords on top of the deck, it's constantly like dealing with a storm in there. Okay, this person is conflicted and trapped a lot and may choose inaction over action because they don't want to upset other people, right? They have this Libran energy. They don't want to upset or rock the reality. This person may be terrified of change, and it causes their own heartbreak. The Five of Cups. They're in this labyrinth, right? They're in this mental labyrinth. They don't know how to get out. They don't know how to get out of the maze, right? The thoughts that they walk around in circles with inside their own head. The Hanged Man is under that, so they may also have significant Piscean energy, or your Piscean energy might affect them. I feel like a part of this person, like on the inside, is drowning, because if you look, so crazy. This maze energy, this drowning energy. If you look at the labyrinth here, there's also a maze on the floor that the Three of Swords is sitting on. And it's one person, you know, stabbing swords into the back of the other. And the third sword is actually being held by the individual. And then here, in these two cards, they're sitting in this pool of water. You can see the ripples underneath both figures. And there's a clock in one. And pumpkins in the back, which does remind me of both Libra and Scorpio energy, because that's October. Right, when we think of pumpkins, we think October. At least here in the States we do. At least here in the States we do. Yeah, this person, it's almost like they're drowning in time. They're drowning in time, meaning they don't know what to do with their life. They have all of this time, right? Lifetime. They have all of this time and they don't know what to do with it. So they're just immersed in the 3D karmic whatever going on around them that they believe is a reality. Right? Like, yeah, are you really interacting with said person? Yeah, but is the reason why you're interacting with them because of what you think it is, or because there's a mirror lesson to learn? You know what I mean? Because you're here as a soul, not a human, right? This person doesn't understand or is detached from or separated from the notion or the idea that they are here for a reason. They don't understand the reason. And so they're just living out whatever, reacting to whoever, or dealing with whatever, and, you know, going through the gamut of emotions and power struggles with people, right? They take offense to people and get triggered by things that they hear on the news or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, they are reactive to the world around them, not understanding that they're choosing it and that it's a reflection of them. They don't realize that denial of the truth is essentially putting the nails in their own coffin. That the stress, that the worry, the anxiety, all the lower emotions, right? Fear, anger, all of those things, judgment, criticism, like unhealthy criticism, right? Being really hard on the self, feeling guilt or pity or insecure, like all of these different things. Like, they want to be happy, They want the Four of Wands. It's an inner union energy where we manifest abundance. There's flowers, there's treasure chests, you know, there's magic elixirs and all of these wonderful things, right, that the Four of Wands in this deck brings. They want the Four of Wands. And they don't understand why they're not receiving it. And it's because they've got their third eye blocked, right? They've got it blocked. They're unwilling to see. Because if they're willing to see, then all of a sudden they have to take ownership for all of their behavior and all their actions, and they can't blame the outer experience anymore. That's why they're immersed in it, because if they're immersed in it, they can blame it. If they remove themselves from it. Hey, Kelly, how you doing? If they remove themselves from being immersed in the outer experience and reflect inwards, and all of a sudden they can't blame this and blame that and blame whatever anymore. Now it's their fault if they're not abundant. It's their fault if they're not happy. It's their fault if they're stressed out. It's their fault if they're angry. Because they chose things, right? This person, as anybody, you know, can choose to eye open, right? That we talk about I am statements and the power of affirmation. I am, like, I am open. I open, like they won't as of right now, right? They won't. They don't want to see. They don't want to take accountability. Okay. They want you back in their life, right? This is where we started with the other deck, right? The Healing Light Tarot. They want back in your light, your healing light, for whatever their truth is that they want it for. And you're like, I don't give a fuck what your truth is. Because the truth of the reality is you're not actually in alignment with wanting to see the whole truth. You're stuck in your ego's truth, your identity's truth, but you're not connected to the greater experience. You're stuck inside, you know, your own taught way of being, and it's not, you know, collectively, it's not all our fault. We're taught to care about what's on the news. We're taught to care about what is going on in celebrity lives. We're taught to care about politics and or not give a fuck, right? And then we have arguments with people, and we have like all of these things that we're taught that matter, when really none of it actually matters. Not in the regard that people think it does. It matters for the self, that you're witnessing a certain experience and certain feelings are coming up and you're meant to understand them. But it doesn't actually, like, matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah, the Six of Cups clarifying that Four of Pentacles. This is definitely someone holding on to some past life debt. Okay. They want you to make them feel better for a past life debt. The thing is, that lifetime ended. They're still holding on to it. It doesn't mean you have to continue to pay on something that ended. It's almost like, I'll put the analogy like this. If you have a debt to some company and the company goes under, you no longer owe that debt. That company doesn't exist, right? It doesn't exist. But what if someone knocked on your door and said, hey, I'm from this company, remember? I want my money. And you're like, you're not even the company anymore. Like, your shit closed down. Like, you and that are no longer the same. You are not that company. That company doesn't exist. Why are you knocking on my door? I don't owe you anything. I owed the company. You are not the company, right? It's no different with these soul contracts we have with people. You had a debt, a perceived debt to someone in a past life. Now that life ended, it closed. They are no longer that person. They're this person that is no longer that person. And they're like, hey, knocking on the door. Hey, you still owe me this debt. I'm like, bitch, that got shut down. I don't owe you shit. right? This is a past life person who's trying to collect a debt you don't actually owe. That lifetime ended. Let it go. This person's holding on to whatever the perceived debt was. And I say perceived because it doesn't necessarily mean it's real. It's their truth, not the truth, capital T. Doesn't resonate with your truth. Maybe you don't feel like you owe them. Maybe you don't feel like you owe them. They feel like you owe them whatever debt, love, money, time, presence, opportunity, whatever. But you don't. But you don't. Okay? The Six of Cups is definitely a past life connection that is holding on to whatever the conflict was. This person may have a serious, very serious ego. They play this tune of conflict. If you see the Sun card, the two figures here are playing the guitar. And it's almost as if they're playing this tune of conflict, right? The Sun card is Leo energy. It is the ego. It is the persona, right? It is what we allow others to see. We don't necessarily perceive ourselves that way, right? The sun doesn't see itself, but everybody sees the sun. Everybody sees the sun. I feel like this person has a major malfunction when it comes to seeing themselves. How conflict causing they are, how provoking they are. I feel like this person is conflict oriented. They thrive or are very comfortable in conflict because it is what is familiar to them, and it's reflective of their inner state. They themselves are conflicted, right? They're conflicted. They're not seeing the reality for what it is. And so it leaves them conflicted with their own reality, right? They're lost in that maze. They're needing to see something from a different perspective, right? Removing the head. The Hanged Man is literally removing the head. Getting out of the mind. Allowing themselves to perceive differently. They don't know how to actually receive good luck or receive opportunity, right? Because underneath of that, we have the Page of Pentacles, and she has a coin that she's putting in her bag. And it just reminded me of like finding a penny on the ground and being like, ooh, it's my lucky day. They don't know how to claim their luck and be excited. You know what I mean? That they have seized an opportunity to change their reality. To them, the reality is what it is, and they're stuck in it, and it's a burden, right? Ten of Wands is under that. 10 of Swords is under that. 10 of Pentacles is under that. Like, everything is stuck. Everything is a burden. Everything betrays, and it has to do with the manifest reality, like triple tens. This is what they're having a hard time. They're having a hard time, and they're coming through in dream state and shit. You know what I mean? Like, they're trying to trigger you into feeling something. And if you're not triggered by them and you've moved on, like, let's just say your heart has moved on from being triggered by said person, they're grasping, right? They're grasping for cords. Cord connection. They're grasping for cords, trying to tug on whatever cord they have connected to you. And you just might have been like, bitch, I cut that cord. Like, I'm sorry. It's not sorry. Like, I'm not triggered by you anymore. I don't feel anything. Feelings don't come up. Like, I could hear your name, see your name, hear your voice. Like, it doesn't faze me. Like, you're chasing after a past life debt that doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Like, you're not a debt collector. You're a piece of spirit in a meat suit. Like, but you're not a debt collector. You know, because if that's the case and we're all connected, then bitch, I'm a debt collector. What do you owe me? Pay up. Oh, are we even? Oh, okay. Yeah. It's all good until, you know, someone's trying to collect a spiritual debt from you. I don't owe you anything. Yeah, okay. So let's see what the Occult Tarot has to say. This is an interesting deck. I actually kind of really started liking this deck watching a channel called Pluto Bean. He's actually pretty fucking good. He gives a different level, you know, message interpretation with the cards. His YouTube is Pluto Bean, and there's a space between each letter if you wanted to look him up, if you were guided to do that. But he uses these cards, and I find them interesting as far as like understanding goes. So let's get an overall understanding of the shadow that originally connected you to this person, this life and or the last, and what they may still be dealing with. Fornius, Ducius, Zagan, and Moloch. Yeah, Six of Cups, past life. They have independence problems. Like, they have to work on that. They're extremely codependent. So, like, let's just say, for example, in the past life, they were extremely codependent on you. And maybe you decided to go and do your own thing. You moved in a different direction and they felt abandoned by you. You don't owe them. They perceive you owe them. You left me. I needed you. You left me. And you're like, I'm allowed to live my life. I'm allowed to chase my dreams and catch them. You know what I mean? Like, I'm allowed to be authentic and who I am. Like, I shouldn't have to not live my life the way I want or not do certain things because you have some kind of need that you want me to fulfill. Like, fill it yourself. And so they're like, you owe me. And you're like, I don't owe you shit. I didn't do anything wrong. You know what I mean? Just because you perceive the debt doesn't mean it's real. So you're like, I don't give a fuck what your truth is. They're dealing with codependency demons. This person might have a lot of rhetoric or be quote unquote crafty or masterful with their words. They might gaslight or have a thing about turning it around and making it like you were this or that. You know, they have a way of twisting it. They have a way of twisting it. They have a way of interfering. With family dynamics. They may have felt like the outcast or the black sheep of the family. Whether they were or weren't is irrelevant, but they felt that way. And because they feel shunned and they feel that need of family, that need of stability, right? This codependency, it's where it comes from. They felt outcast, and so they want to be accepted. They want to be noticed. They want to be seen. They want to be prioritized, right? Because they didn't get that growing up. They were outcast, the black sheep. And instead of allowing them to make it stronger, right? Allowing this whole experience to make them stronger, instead they went and let it be a huge hole, right? It's a huge hole that hasn't been filled yet, and they're seeking for that fulfillment from the outer experience when it's supposed to come from within the self. This person attaches themselves to others, has this idea that they are super important. And so they try and be super important and relevant in places where they shouldn't. And this was probably what they're not letting go of from a past life. You know what I mean? I'm so important. Why didn't you give me what I needed? And so now they're here in this life. I'm important. Give me what I need. You're just like, you weren't important like you thought then. You're not important like you think now. No one's life stops for you. Your life is stopped because you stopped it. You know what I mean? Like, you're looking at this person like, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. If life isn't what you want it to be, then create something different. You know, it's like, it's almost like, it's not my monkey's not my circus. It's not my fucking job. Like, you got to feel better about yourself. You got to know you're important. You don't need me or anybody else to validate that. You don't need anybody to self-sacrifice to make your life good. Like, you need to sacrifice what else is going on in the world that you're immersed in and make your life good. Like, the perk of dealing with said person is if you've got your own wounds that you're healing, they will absolutely push you to heal it. Thing is, once you've healed it, there's no place for them in your reality anymore. You know what I mean? Let's pull a guidance card. Sacred Rebels. No? Okay. White Light Oracle. Spirit, please. For those who would catch this message in divine time, what is the best guidance that you can give them that they can receive? What message is in their highest good? That is too many, but we will take that one. Yeah, Telepathy of Terra Mater. We're talking about communication, right? That's on the bottom. The 7 blessings of Eve. Y'all know how I feel about Eve. She's karmic as shit. Bless her heart. She's been teaching us for a very long time. Like, if you think about that, Lilith and Adam were the original two, right? They were created by the divine, the original two. Lilith, as the feminine, takes off because Adam and her are disagreeing. And Adam pulls his rib and creates Eve. Eve is not actually separate from him. She's in the outer experience, but she is him, a part of him. It's no different with people in the divine mirror of things. Everybody in our outer experience, because all of humanity, right, was created by Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve created all of humanity. We are all descendants, right? The story goes. Well, the story as a metaphor means we are all a mirror of ourself. We're not actually separate from ourself. We are pieces of ourself. We are witnessing in the outer experience pieces of ourself, feminine and masculine. I know if you're watching this channel, you are more likely to understand that, especially if you watch it consistently. But a lot of people do not understand how people in the outer experience are truly facets of what is going on inside their own psyche, and how it's connected universally, right? This is a collective message. So we're on this journey to releasing the mirror, right? Releasing the mirror to put Eve back in, right? To put her back inside the self and recognize that the outer experience that we're looking at now is not necessarily a mirror, because we've received our feminine back, our feminine aspect, our intuition, our feelings, our receptivity, and have taken ownership of them. Johnny Blake, I don't have time for that. Don't send me fucking kisses. I'm in the middle of a reading. Come on now. I don't have time. All right, so with that, once we re-accept in our feminine energy, and it's not separate outside of us anymore, right? Where the outer is making us trigger things to feel, right? Because the outer is the feelings. Once we receive ourselves and we are whole, we can actually manifest opportunity or choose action to reunite with what is essentially our other half that has been abandoned or betrayed or forgotten, you know what I mean? That we can actually receive what was divinely created for us, right? Because the divine created Lilith, Adam created Eve. The divine didn't create Eve, Adam did, you know? So, sidebar. So, telepathy of Terra Mater. It says, the pathway for your spiritual fulfillment and the sacred manifestation of your purpose is not necessarily logical and will evolve organically. The skillful and unpredictable workings of the Earth Mother are supporting your soul journey unconditionally. Following up on inspired ideas and allowing for unexpected shifts in direction are integral to the manifestation of your soul purpose. Commit to an idea that feels good to your heart. Even if it seems improbable or unattainable, it will manifest successfully. Earth Mother, or Terra Mater in Latin, is so much more than a physical being. She is also a goddess of great spiritual development, not to mention creative pizzazz. As a masterful practitioner of artful evolution, she creates butterflies from caterpillars, massive oak trees from marvelously odd little acorns, and a radiant soul from the flesh of a human infused with eternal spirit. Her mind-bending skill and the miraculous magic of evolutionary manifestation can be relied upon to evoke far greater sublime beauty and rapturous delight than even the most inspired human imagination can conjure. As a sacred feminine being, she knows how to nurture the essence of all beings into fulfillment. She knows what your soul is divinely intended to become and what you need to meet your destiny. She has the resources and wisdom to support each soul in such a way that there is a benefit for all beings. This is the applied genius of ecosystem intelligence. It is the antithesis of the lone wolf mentality of the ego and the heartwarming, spiritually empowering reality that none of us is in this alone. We can learn to feel held in this unity consciousness, understanding that we have our own special role in the greater scheme of things. This will likely involve a process of healing past wounds of abandonment, neglect, and betrayal. Such healing allows us to gently cleanse the heart and settle into life with more trust and peace. We will understand that as we fulfill our own heart, we are contributing toward the fulfillment of all hearts. We will recognize a deep intuitive cellular level that our soul fulfillment is never just about us as individuals. Whenever there is a genuine spiritual win, every being benefits. Egos may not like it. They may feel jealous or denied and likely whinge and whine and perhaps try to undermine your spiritual progress by labeling your work or what you do as selfish or deluded or irrelevant, as that is what the egos do. Best to note it, have compassion for it, then ignore it and get on with your sacred task. The oracle of telepathy of Terra Mater comes to you with the guidance of Earth Mother, who knows your spiritual destiny and how to help you fulfill your life purpose, because, of course, that is why you are here in a body. She is on the side of your soul, of all souls, actually, because while egos may be at war, the soul is always on the same side, that of love, evolution, and enlightenment. The ways of Terra Mater are the ways of the divine feminine creatrix. She knows how to shape your life path to avoid pitfalls and provide you with all that you need to know and experience, so you are prepared for your next steps. She consistently nurtures the soul through the most improbable evolutionary leaps. One only has to contemplate the existence of a butterfly and how it becomes as such to know that logic and the predictable are not often her creative markers. She prefers the astonishing over the rational. What does this mean? It means don't let your intellect stifle your imagination. Trust in the inspired idea, unconventional guidance, and heart-honoring intuitions that occur to you. Earth Mother will speak to your soul and speak to your heart through the telepathic transmitter of your body. Take time to tune into your body and to her guiding genius. Your body gives you signs all the time. Sometimes when we feel extremely uncomfortable, we stop breathing. You ever notice that when someone asks you a question and they're like, oh, do you want to do this? And you're like, you'll literally stop breathing for a second. No, you need to breathe to experience life. So if something causes a reaction in your body to stop breathing, it's probably your cue, like, you don't really want to do that. It's not actually going to be best serving your life. Sometimes our heart races, and I mean races, to where you feel like it can explode, and well, your blood pressure going through the roof and your heart racing like that isn't necessarily good either, right? So keep in mind the way your body responds. You know, our ears ring, you know, sometimes, and we get goosebumps and chills when something resonates with the soul, and we're supposed to pay attention to it. Right, we're supposed to pay attention. Some music, some sounds give us chills, and we're just like, wow, like blown away by the sound. And other times, things we hear are fucking nerve-wracking, and they make our hair stand on end. And it's like, hey, pay attention, right? Our hair being on the top of our head is how we normally perceive it, but it's all over our body. When our hair stands on end, it's like an antenna receiving a vibration. Like, please be aware of what makes your hair stand on end. You know, like, your body responds. Your body responds when you're sweating and you're fucking anxious, or you're under a lot of fucking pressure. Like, your body responds. Like, hey, you're feeling extremely anxious. Please find out why, so the anxiety can be removed. Because there might not be anything wrong with what you're doing. You may be under a lot of pressure at work, and all of a sudden you're fucking sweating, but it's not because you're not capable or meant to do the work. It's because you don't believe in yourself or your capability, and you're striving to be successful at something. The anxiety is coming from a place of not believing that you are going to pull this off. You know what I mean? So, like, read your body's language. learn to read your body, because it's responding on a spiritual language for you. With connecting to people, right? Because it was talking about healing, abuse, neglect, betrayals, and things like that. Abandonment, right? We were talking about how this individual is trying to re-enter via actual communication, or through telepathic or dream state communication, right? Through other methods. Understand how your body responds. Do you wake up upset? Do you wake up crying? Do you wake up feeling nauseous because it made you so, it has your emotions so upside down that you're sick over it? You know what I mean? Like, really watch how your body responds to said person or anybody. Because if your body is not fucking excited and comfortable and looking forward to it, truly, it's not in your highest alignment. It's in alignment with a lesson if you want it, but lessons aren't necessarily great. they don't necessarily feel good. So we've all been through lots of lessons. Lots of lessons. Lessons that cost us time. Lessons that cost us our body. Lessons that cost us fucking money. Like, shit. No lesson ever ended. We were like, yeah, I learned that lesson. Everything is great. Like, I have all the things I ever wanted learning that lesson. And it's just like, no, it's once you've learned the lessons and you stop chasing lessons, then everything you want can actually manifest. Stop chasing the lesson. That moon card that came out at the very beginning on top of the deck, like, heed your intuition. Heed your intuition. Like, listen to your divine feminine energy. The moon is Piscean energy. Some readers, and sometimes myself, I'm even drawn a Cancerian energy. So, like, listen to your fucking gut. Pay attention to your body. Your body is literally a divine instrument created specifically for your soul to experience whatever is in your highest good. You can choose otherwise, but your body is a divine instrument created specifically for your soul to experience your highest good, and it will always respond to make sure you do or don't do something that is or isn't in alignment with your highest good. So, with that said, I'm going to wrap this up for you guys who want to see me again today. I will be live at 3 p.m. for my Divine Rebel members. If you are not a Divine Rebel member, then you could sign up via the link in the description. Okay, you can join membership here on the channel and become a Divine Rebel Diamond. I'm going to be doing the Divine Masculine and Feminine collective energies, where the masculine yang and the feminine yin are within the collective vibration, today at 3. And then tomorrow I am going to do a personal reading for one of the members who pop in the live. So if you're a Divine Rebel member, you get a chance to receive a personal reading every Sunday. Okay? And I will see you next time. Bye, everybody.